afternoon. My name is Valeria Sofia Enciso Cuevas, and for MUN2019 2019, I was assigned the Committee of UN Women. I had the opportunity to represent the country of El Salvador. The two topics discussed were the empowerment of women to guarantee labor equity and actions to reduce femicides worldwide. These topics are very important due to the fact that they have finally caught the attention of millions of people and organizations because of persistence of women fighting for their rights. Despite that, there are still many countries, for example in the Middle East and in Latin America, who still don't respect women's rights. The first topic of empowerment of women in education to guarantee labor equity is about supporting and helping women to keep fighting for educational rights. As mentioned before, there are still many countries who disagree with the opportunity of women to study and have labor equity. Labor inequality has always existed. There has always been a certain preference for men than for women, and for that, women have been battling trying to achieve an improvement in labor equality. For example, there are jobs in which women are paid less for the same job that men do. The second topic of femicides has become a subject with critical importance and influence all over the world. Women are murdered every day for the simple fact of being women, which is clearly unfair. Women haven't always had a voice in society, and for that, they have been fighting non-stop and making manifestations all over the world to finally get the attention and protection and support they need. Both topics lack the presence of human rights, especially for women. Human rights have to be adequate to everyone so that everyone can get a benefit and enjoy their rights. During the model, all delegates gave a brief explanation and definition of their femicides and discrimination of women because they have all become victims of these issues. The delegation of Yemen was the only delegation who was in favor of femicides and discrimination of women. Throughout the model, Yemen made it very clear that they see femicides as a cultural act for the reason that it has happened ever since, and that women are already used to being killed by their husbands and being prohibited from many rights. There were delegations like Sweden, which had a low rate of femicides, who instead looked for ways to provide international support to countries who had high rates of femicides. The delegation of Yemen was constantly being attacked by all delegations for being in favor of femicides and discrimination of women. At the beginning, I felt very nervous, but as everyone started participating, I became more confident. Some of the delegations that attacked my country were Ghana, Cuba, Colombia, Chad, and Yemen. And the delegations that I attacked were Yemen, Slovakia, Montenegro, and Colombia. I always had my arguments well prepared just in case a delegation decided to attack my country. I was always listening to different opinions about the different topics from the delegates. During the sessions, I was looking forward to receiving international help from other delegates. I always paid attention to delegation speaks because I had to know with what delegations I was becoming allies. Coming up with a proposal was very easy because we all agreed on the same type of concepts, except for Yemen. All delegates gave differing ideas and opinions to create the resolution. The resolution included points that favor all of the countries in different ways. My country's position was the same as my personal position. Femicide is currently a problem facing El Salvador. As a fact, they are implementing new laws on organizations to decrease the number of femicides. I'm against femicides and discrimination of women because I think that it is unfair that women can't enjoy the same things as men do. Women and men should be treated equally because they are both human. I believe that with the full aid of international support, life in El Salvador can become better. In conclusion, I enjoyed participating in MUN. It was a nice experience. I learned a lot about other countries' culture and problems. During the research of the position paper, I again learned many things about my country's problems about femicides and their discrimination of women. After MUN, I had a different point of view. I became more interested in the topic. It is sad to know that women can't get their full rights and that they have to live with that. In my opinion, we all did a good job defending our delegations. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Aranza Maya, and I represented the delegation of Mexico in the International Criminal Police Organization Committee. The topics to discuss during this committee were the human trafficking and illicit trafficking of migrants. Human trafficking is the action of transporting people by illegal means through one area to another, and this highly endangers the basic human rights due to the fact that this illicit action provokes different consequences such as forced labor, removal of organs, modern slavery, sexual exploitation, etc. This gets even worse because when the victims that have suffered a lot and that got prived from their basic and valuable human rights do not get the help they need when they return to their countries or when they seek asylum in other ones. This means that the shelters that are in these areas are not of the best quality. Illicit trafficking of migrants make reference to the high numbers of people that leave their country seeking for better chances and opportunities in other countries in which they actually see them. Citizens go and look for help with people that make illicit work and that ask to be paid enormous amounts of money for their services. It is actually a conflict that should not be happening because every country should be working together to offer their citizens the best quality of life as possible. And human rights appear to be violated indirectly in this topic because every human has the right to have a nationality, but how are they supposed to have one if they cannot live or survive in their nations and no other delegation is willing to accept them? Every delegation present in this model was willing to work toward the human rights, but more importantly, to cooperate. I remember, for example, that a delegation of the UK proposed it in the topic of illicit trafficking of migrants to bring big enterprises or businesses into countries that lack of job opportunities or that are in ways of development. This way, every delegation's economy would be helped and lots of jobs would be generated. I consider that my participation in the census was pretty good because I was actually informed about my country's actions and facts. In some of the topics, my delegation was not in the most favorable position, but I was able to overcome the questions from other delegates regarding to the not so good things that the Mexican government has done. The Mexican delegation was open every time to new solutions that benefited every country's population. In this, I agree with Mexico because it is a country that is in favor of working towards solutions that favor the well-being of their citizens. I got to see the Mexican evolution in terms of laws regarding to the topics that were held during the committee. And I felt satisfied to discover that human trafficking and illicit trafficking of migrants were both actually added into the Mexican Penal Code. Nevertheless, I think there are a lot of things and factors in which Mexico still has to work on to get progress and to be a better country every day. Thank you.
My name is Monica Camacho Orozco, and I was part of the World Health Organization Committee, representing the delegation of Germany and winning the prize of Best Delegate. The topics in the committee were measures to reduce the rates of clandestine abortions and ensure the safety of women, in which the principal debate was whether the legalization of abortion was necessary to reduce these clandestine abortions, and if not, propose ways to reduce it, implementing mandatory quality sexual education and contraceptive methods. The second topic is actions to reduce weak health services worldwide, in which measures to combat these situations were discussed, because it is an issue that can lead to several crises in countries that do not have these good health services, and it contributes to more poverty worldwide because people are spending in healthcare systems that aren't even good. The arguments in my delegation were quite studied and specific ones. I believe they led eventually to a resolution with the help of other delegations. In the abortion issue, my delegation had similar opinions as others, which include that the implementation of a strict sexual education in every school and the reduction or elimination of taxes in contraceptive methods is really necessary to really see a change in this issue. And giving other options to pregnant women, as it is adoption, and promoting the use of contraceptive methods in governmental media. In the second topic, I try to lead with the example of my delegation and what had worked in Germany in the past few years, since they have one of the best medical systems in the world. My arguments were based on the idea of creating an agreement in which not only will economic support will be given, there will be meetings on how the improvement of this system is going and what is really getting better through this economic support. A lot of delegations had different opinions because they didn't want to give an economic support or believe there were different ways to solve this issue. And therefore, my delegation, together with another ones, thought it would be a good idea to implement campaigns and donations from citizens into this resolution. I believe my participation was quite good. I was able to ask and answer a lot of questions, and I had a lot of information that helped me through the debate, and therefore I was able to propose good solutions and make good allies. I believe the fact that I got to write the first resolution was also good participation. I got a chance to make meaningful participation, and as a strategy to present my proposal, I showed the rest of the delegates data that evidences that in fact these proposals could work and have worked in different countries, and also made allies that had similar proposals so we could have a better structured proposal that was more convincing to the other delegations. I have similar beliefs as Germany. That is why I chose the country, and I was lucky enough to get that one. I truly believe that their medical system is efficient and should be implemented in more countries instead of the not working systems that are leaving families in bankrupt due to their medical problems or emergencies. Also, the abortion laws, in my opinion, are quite good. I really like the fact that the woman is the only one that can decide over the abortion, and that before the procedure she has an appointment with an expert to explain to her all of the process, psychologically and physically. Also, it seems to be quite efficient that they give free contraceptive pills to every woman for free since a certain age. It was quite interesting, and I learned a lot during MUN2019, and I really enjoyed the committee.
My name is Natalia Marino. The delegation I represented was Colombia on the Committee of World Health Organization. The topics discussed were measures to reduce the rates of clandestine abortions and ensure the safety of women, and actions to reduce weak health services worldwide. The first topic was mainly treating how to ensure women's health in developing countries, or ones that did not count with an open system to support women going through an abortion, or that criminalize women that decide to terminate their pregnancy. The discussion benefits human rights since all delegations were able to make sacrifices that ensured and protected women's health and also stuck with their beliefs. The second topic was focused on how to improve health services, specifically on developing countries or those where not enough investments were directed to their health services. All delegations agreed it is crucial to prioritize and improve health services worldwide, promote every citizen's health as well as making it affordable for all salaries. This benefits human rights because treating a medical condition of any sort or gravity is not a luxury and should be available for everyone despite their economic capabilities or background. Different from several other delegations, Colombia's constitution states abortion should not be criminalized and should be done in a governmental clinic when such pregnancy risks the women's or the unborn's child's health. But this procedure must be prescribed by a doctor. This is a very liberal law, especially since in Latin America as a whole has very few countries that allow any form of abortion and counts with programs dedicated specifically to women's reproductive health. Colombia currently counts with a president which has openly stated that the improvement of health services and their respective systems is one of the priorities for the country. This, plus being active on international health organizations and treaties dedicated to improving services and providing help on international level. Other delegations' health services quality was not a priority for their countries, but most were willing to offer economic aid to any country in need with the sole purpose of improving such services development. In both topics, my delegation was open to hearing other delegations' needs and proposals to create a decision that benefited my delegation as well as other delegations, as well as suggesting changes that included and created welfare from a given solution. In the case of the first topic, Colombia provided economic aid to developing countries that follow their specific beliefs on abortion, investing mostly on sexual education and contraceptives rather than abortion clinics. on countries where the procedure is illegal. On the second topic, Colombia stood and agreed with every solution provided by the delegations of China, the United States, and Germany, since they previously discussed all the points taken into consideration with the rest of the delegations. I personally stand by Colombia's beliefs and law in both topics, prioritizing health at any cost. I am also convinced with the contribution of all delegations' opinions in both topics, we were able to reach a good solution for the problematics in place, thinking about and respecting all delegations' opinions and their respective laws and beliefs regarding health services and abortion, which were very controversial topics in conservative countries. There could definitely have been more points added to both solutions, as well as specifications and detailing, but as a temporary and a great-scale solutions, they both reach a complete standard and quality measures to promote health.
Y nosotros